She needs an enforcer, a brute who will destroy people if they destroy her. The Indiana Fever have officially moved past the open season phase of Caitlin Clark's career. They have upgraded from a developing roster to a professional team, so if you mess with our star, you better bring ice packs. The days of cheap shots are over because the Indiana Fever have hired enforcers in sneakers. Say hello to the new Fever recruits, Natasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, Brianna Turner, and Dana Bonner. These four aren't just seasoned veterans. They're physically fearless and ready to throw their weight around if anyone so much as breathes too hard on Clark. Angel Reed, Kennedy Carter, Asia Wilson, and DJ Jane. Yes, Carrington, you all might want to reconsider those hard fouls because now you're not just playing with Caitlin, you're going to have to deal with the enforcer squad. If it's not me, Michelle Rapport, for example, where is Charisse Oakley? Her team has players like Zaya McDaniels and Rakisha Mahorn, so she needs a goon on her team. This wasn't just about adding talent. It was a message that the Fever aren't content with competing. They're aiming for dominance, and they're doing it while making sure their franchise player doesn't have to eat the hardwood every time she crosses half court. You need one of those enforcers. By the way, every good player on every good team has an enforcer-level player who is a super-duper star most of the time. Let's go back to how Caitlin Clark's WNBA journey began. She stepped onto the court with the league's future on her back and delivered fireworks, but instead of being embraced, she was body checked as if she owed someone money. Instead of basketball, it looked like some players joined a hockey league, so it's a hot topic right now. Caitlin Clark claims she was cheap shot against the sky. I mean, she has been getting beaten up, hard screens, elbows knocked down, and without a doubt, this wasn't just rookie treatment. Game after game, the level of physicality Clark endured bordered on targeted harassment. Took elbows to the ribs, arms across the neck, and hips that somehow sent her flying. It didn't take long for the numbers to confirm what we already suspected. 17% of all flagrant fouls in the league were committed against Caitlin Clark. That's not a statistic, it's a neon sign that flashes saying, "We're coming for you." That's all I see. They try so hard to gain respect for women's basketball, and then they treat it like a junior high school girl's locker room. Now, let's talk villains. The Chicago Sky went completely out of their way, committing 80% of those flagrant fouls against Clark for no apparent reason other than to intimidate, rattle, and break her. The charge was led by Angel Reed, who of course proudly turned hard fouls. Rhea immediately laid Clark out on a drive that left fans gasping, commentators wriggling, and Clark got up, adjusted her ponytail, and calmly drained a three. Then Kennedy Carter decided to turn a dead ball into a full-on shoulder check, and the cameras caught it. The fans lost it, and Clark once again showed no complaints, no drama, just the calm, cold focus of someone who's used to being the target and still torching defenses. Let's just say that she's never met a hard foul that she didn't like. The list of players trying to take away Clark's game is lengthy, but it's about to meet its match. Recall the time she denied even poking Clark in the eye when you went and swatted. The Fever weren't about to let their generational superstar carry that burden alone again. So they built a wall named Natasha, Sophie, Brianna, and Dana. It's going to be Caitlin Clark's last show, so it's going to be amazing playing with a point guard, like you said, that have good vision on the court, because that's like one thing I like about her is that she throws the ball up as soon as she gets it because she sees the person down the court before she even gets the ball in her hand. I can't wait to catch all those passes and give her all the assists she needs. Let's start with Natasha Howard, the head of defense in this new Indiana regime. She's not only experienced, she's a three-time WNBA champion and former Defensive Player of the Year. She's played with legends, guarded MVPs, and she never backs down. She's the kind of player who makes opponents think twice before attempting anything shady. The moment she steps on the floor next to Clark, the atmosphere changes completely. Carrington's shove and Wilson's blindside screen doesn't happen with Natasha in the building. The Indiana Fever and their pursuit of a championship have acquired a three-time WNBA champion, a Defensive Player of the Year, an All-Star, and a veteran with over 300 games played in Howard. Howard doesn't play with subtlety. Instead, she uses blocks, boards, and the kind of mean mug that makes even the most audacious forwards back off. We haven't yet discussed what Howard does best on defense, though, as she was named Defensive Player of the Year in 2019 and finished in the top 10 of the Defensive Player of the Year voting 3 times during her career. Her versatility is what truly makes her a weapon on defense last season, as Caitlin Clark took hit after hit. Literary defenders targeted her carelessly in the hopes of pushing her around with no real repercussions. But now that fantasy is officially dead, the Indiana Fever went out and gained serious muscle this offseason. When Clark steps onto the court, she has a certified enforcer next to her, a champion, a defensive powerhouse, and someone who demands respect the moment she checks in. Last season, with at least 25 games played, Natasha Howard was one of only 13 players to average 18 points per game and 16 players to average 7 rebounds per game. The list of players to average both 18 and 7 last year includes elite Asia Wilson, Breanna Stewart, and Fisa Collier, Brittany, and others. Natasha Howard and Gurr are both here to throw elbows, but Howard is also a fantastic two-way player who just finished a season with an average of 17. 6 points. Howard's impact extends beyond the box score. As a 3-time WNBA champion and former Defensive Player of the Year, she knows what it takes to win at the highest level and is bringing that mindset to a young Indiana team that is hungry for a title. With over 50 playoff games under her belt, she's the kind of steadying presence this team needs. To start off with trust, we got to make sure we trust each other because we trust each other if we go a long way. That's one thing that, for example, when everyone returns from playing whatever they're doing and before training camp begins, we need to start getting to know each other off the court instead of on it. Because, as she puts it, I'm excited to return to Indiana and bring my experience and toughness to the team. I want to help Caitlin and the Fever compete at the highest level. That's leadership, that's purpose, and that's exactly what Indiana was missing. Natasha Howard, I'm from the Midwest, so I'm thrilled to be here. I'm feeling rejuvenated and motivated, and I feel like my spark has returned. I've already met a lot of really cool people, and I'm excited to inspire the next generation of young boys and girls in this area to get to know the community better. However, I can assure you that I'm just ready to win. I'm ready to win, and I'm ready for you all to be there. Now, let's talk about another Fever addition who will make waves this season. If you felt that Indiana was being bullied the previous season, Cunningham is here to repay the favor. She's not just a player who can shoot threes, she has the grit and toughness to stand her ground when things get physical. In today's WNBA, which matters, Kane Clark was getting hit a lot. She was getting hit a lot early, and they needed their Charles Oakley and Sophie Cunningham's signing raise some eyebrows because she was one of the faces of the Phoenix Mercury, a team that many believed would try to recruit her. However, Clark knows exactly what kind of players she needs by her side, and she brings the fire every night. There are a lot of videos of Sophie Cunningham just starting rolls. She's a sniper from beyond the arc, hitting 37.8% from 3 last season, which is elite. With Boston controlling the paint and Clark drawing double teams, Cunningham will be camped out on the perimeter, waiting to cash in, and when she gets hot, she's unstoppable. The style play that Stephanie is going to bring here is called running and gun. It's its shooters, it's its emotion offense, and so my eyes lit up like a Christmas tree. However, it may be her toughness that matters most. Cunningham is a black belt in Taekwondo. She plays with edge, talks trash, and plays through contact. She's the type of player who sets a tone, and opposing guards will think twice before attempting to punk Clark this season. I'm a little sassy sometimes, you know, but I love my teammates, always love me, and I spread the court like I can shoot the ball. I believe I'll contribute a lot to this team, but ultimately I want to be a good leader, a great teammate, and someone who brings the culture piece. I want to make sure that our egos are put aside and that we're all in this to win, and I think that's going to be fairly easy with the group that we have on paper, which is number 8. And when you have playmakers who are quick and great passers like Kelsey Mitchell too, it lets them do their thing, and then the defense comes in and you're just ready to shoot. 3 points out of 4, 9 rebounds, 2. Although her 0 assists may not impress you, her influence goes well beyond her numbers. She is the glue player, the agitator, the clutch shooter, and she never backs down from a challenge. I find it funny when people say, oh, she can play some defense, but I think that's an area where I could actually improve. For example, a big shot is a great energizer, and a great pass is a great energizer. But when you can get 3 stops in a row and get the crowd into it, you frustrate the other team. Like, that's the toughest stuff that I like. This addition changes Indiana's identity with Cunningham on the wing defenses. And if they do, she's punishing them from 3 points. There's a lot to learn, and together Howard and Cunningham are doing more than just protecting Clark. They're fostering a culture where tough physical play is matched and not tolerated. And on the other hand, she's going to get in opponents' faces and throw her body around to let them know the Fever aren't getting pushed around anymore. We haven't even discussed the chemistry yet. When Clark gets trash-talked or hard-fouled, Cunningham will be the first one in the referee's ear, and possibly in the opponent's face as well. I think that the front office and the staff really had a vision in place, and I felt that I could really complement it. Brianna Turner may be the most underrated enforcer in the entire WNBA, and now she's suiting up with the Indiana Fever. If Natasha Howard is the muscle, Turner is the lockdown specialist with back-to-back all-defensive first-team appearances. I'm really excited to be on the same team with a lot of these players again. I followed them throughout their college and professional careers, so it's kind of like a full-circle moment to be on the same team. Selections in 2020 and 2021, she's made a career out of shutting down opponents and protecting the paint like her life depends on it. She's not flashy, but she's ruthlessly effective. Opponents don't drive into the lane when Turner is waiting, and I believe that players can jump a lot from season 1 to season 2. I'm excited to see how she develops from season 1 to season 2, and I don't think she's reached her ceiling yet either. At 6'3", with exceptional athleticism and a defensive IQ that rivals the league's best, Turner is a human fly swatter in 2020. In a league where physicality is a part of the game, Turner's 2021 campaign was equally impressive, finishing in the top 6 in both offensive and defensive rebounds. However, she's more than just a stat machine. She's a culture changer who doesn't back down. She takes pride in stopping elite scorers, embraces contact, and does it all with a quiet intensity that commands respect. I think I'm really like a calming presence. I never get too high or too low. People ask me why I don't smile more or get excited, and I respond, I'm just chilling. I'm vibing. Like, I'm really an observer, but I'm competitive as well. I like to run the floor. I like to play defense. I like to win, and I like to win. I believe the Fever was the place to be if I wanted to win. What makes Turner so ideal for Indiana isn't just her skill, it's her mindset. She's a winner who brings grit, hustle, and that non-nonsense defensive mentality that every championship team needs. With the league's dirtiest players circling like vultures, Clark now has yet another line of defense. The Fever didn't just get deeper, it got tougher. When you add Turner to the mix, the paint looks like a no-fly zone. Indiana is sending a clear message. If you mess with Clark, you're going to have a defensive nightmare. I'm really excited for that. I mean, I would say that Indiana is such a basketball state, and the fan bases go all out for their teams. I've only been there once. Having a community that is so excited about their local sports team, Dana Bonner, is not only for Caitlin Clark's protection, but also for redefining Indiana's entire game strategy. Bonner reads the floor like a seasoned coach and knows exactly where to be, when to rotate, and how to shut down elite scorers. That kind of on-court awareness is something you can't teach overnight, and having someone like Bonner guiding them is priceless for a Fever team that is full of raw talent, but still developing its identity. What excites you the most about this team that you're going to be joining is that they have dynamic pieces in Cece and AB and Lexi Hall, and they have a great core, so why not just add to that and try to take us to the next level in basketball? Bonner is known for mentoring younger players behind the scenes, pulling them aside during practice, breaking down film sessions, and giving veteran advice after tough games. Now, Clark Boston and the rest of the Fever get to absorb that knowledge every single day. The media may focus on the big names, but these are the behind-the-scenes moves that create dynasties. The playoffs were in the first round, and I played against them. The way they came back in the second game just makes you want to be a part of that. However, they didn't lay down and quit. Instead, they tried to beat us early. Now, let's be honest. Clark doesn't need anyone to hold her hand. She's already shown that she can take hits, shake them off, and keep on scoring. What she needs is a supporting cast that can increase her impact. That's where Bonner comes in. She's not here to take over. She's here to amplify her impact. Bonner's length and versatility allow her to switch on to guards, disrupt passing lanes, and turn defense into instant offense. That type of transition game is going to be deadly with Clark leading the break. As I said, I hope I can make her job a little easier. She can make mine a little easier, but I think she's a great person, and we've been kind of connecting here. We had a great workout this morning, and it was fun. And when the game comes down to it, Bonner doesn't falter. Her resume is full of game-winning plays that shift momentum and lock down defensive sequences in crunch time. Imagine the 1-2 punch of Clark setting up plays and Bonner finishing them with dagger jumpers or coast-to-coast drives. It's not just dangerous, it's championship material. They were the most well-known team at the time, and they went from the bottom straight to the top, and they just kept trending. It was one of those teams you're like, man, you don't want to see them in the real world. Playoffs, so we got the matchup, and I think our experience helped us a lot. But when they came out for the second game, it was like, yeah, they just kind of went on this trajectory that was just like on the rise, and it was literally Fever on the rise right after All-Star. So that's exciting for me to see, and that kind of helped me with my decision. Not to mention her off-court presence. Bonner is a walking highlight reel with a fan base that spans both coasts. Her name lends credibility, and her reputation brings respect. When she dons a Fever jersey, it tells the league that Indiana isn't just hoping to compete, but demanding it from teams that thought they could bully Clark with cheap shots and flagrant fouls. They're building a wall around Clark, and they're daring anyone to try to break through it. What can you do? I'm hoping that I can find a little bit of leadership, but I feel like they're a team that last year helped them a lot and understand the dynamics of the playoffs. It's a whole different ball game when playoffs come, and I feel like they're a young team, but they're a good team, and people who can just provide the knowledge and explain playoffs a little bit better so that we can be better prepared and don't get punched in the face the first game, because it's difficult to come back and try to win 2 straight against a veteran team. The pressure is already building, especially with high-stakes games, nationally televised games, and playoff implications that could change at any time. However, instead of Clark being singled out and targeted, she has a battle-hardened squad ready to support her, which changes everything. It alters the way opponents plan their strategies, it changes the tone of every game, and it sends a message to all the potential bullies in the league that they are no longer the soft target. How do you feel about the way your roster has changed recently? I'm excited because clearly you know we made some excellent moves, and I believe Kelly, Amber, and the entire Fever organization are interested in helping us win right now. And I believe that's really important, are going to complement each other really well. So while fans are excited about Clark's threes, Aaliyah Boston's post moves, Kelsey Mitchell's scoring, and Lexi Hall's hustle, don't undervalue what Bonner brings to this team. She's the anchor, stabilizer, and difference maker. Now that she's in Indiana, the Fever aren't just an exciting up-and-coming player. They're a nightmare for any team hoping for an easy win. This squad is more resilient and hungry than ever, and they have the veteran firepower to prove it. With this lineup, the only question is who will stop them? Let us know in the comments, like, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss anything.